Good Monday evening. It's a special edition of Chart Talk with Mr. Joseph Trades. Just want to look at some charts and see what happened. I hope everyone's having a good evening. Hope everyone's ready to look at some charts in this low volume Christmas week. And if you're not ready to look at some charts, then don't watch. But hopefully you do, and hopefully you learn something. So this is the 4 hour of the NASDAQ. We still seem to be rotating up in the triangle that I drew yesterday on Chart Talk Live. Let's see if we can get any. These are alerts I set for today that never got triggered, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Alerts are good when you are in a position where you can't really, be glued to the charts all the time, but you know that if price gets to a key level that you could have a profitable, or I won't say that you know that you can have a profitable, but you're more likely to have a high probability situation. So let's get rid of those alerts. Let's get rid of that. Some lines from a few days ago. And you'll see that price is above the EMA on the 4 hour, and it looks to be rotating higher. Would not be surprised at all to see it test this buy side liquidity of this bear candle. And look where that is. It would be right about the top of that triangle. That would make a lot of sense. We'll have to see if it happens. But what am I doing here? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Maybe that's straight, maybe it's not. Hard to tell. That's all right. Either way, the concept is valid. All right, when we look at the 15-minute from today, we can see that at the open we had a dump to VWAP and then basically just a choppy range day. I hope if anyone traded in this today, you realized what was going on early and you didn't get chopped up to death, because today was a day that could have happened. It's Christmas, right? I think we might be getting a Santa Claus rally. At least that's what I'm hoping. Looks like that's already started on one of my picks from a few weeks ago. Check out IonQ. This is an unaltered drawing from when I posted this idea on TradingView and my other platforms. Check it out. So I went long, I guess a few weeks ago on the week of the 8th. And the idea is a bullish rotation to the top of this Fibonacci retracement. And why did I go long there? Well, several reasons. It had tested the weekly EMA. What period is that? Let's check it out. Can't even remember. It's a 50 period weekly EMA. So in other words, this is the moving average of 50 weeks worth of data. So when price tests a weekly moving average, that's a pretty significant level. In general, you can see what happened the last time it tested it. It sort of ranged around for about a month and a half, and then it shot to the top of this, it shot to this buy side liquidity. Then it had a tough time getting through the top, but it finally had a huge breakout. Well, the past few months we've seen a retracement, and it retraced back to the moving average. And let's see what else. This was a breakout pullback zone, because when price busted up to the upside, it broke out through this level and then it pulled back. So that's another, as they say, confluence. Let's check for another confluence. what do you know? This is a 71% Fibonacci retracement level. So price came back and tested it. And not only that, I had drawn a trend line right here. It seems to have more or less respected it for now. Now, trend lines are very subjective. Hey, Super T in the house. We're just talking about some reasons why I picked this as a long candidate a few weeks ago and what's happened since. And it's moving the way I want, although I did have a close call last week. This red line nearly took my stop loss. So, but what I'm expecting is a bullish rotation higher to the top of this bear candle, if not all the way. So I was discussing how on a weekly chart, such as what we have here, we have a few key things to recognize. One, price at one point had tested this EMA. You see this purple line? What happened the last time it tested it? It moved up and it tested the top of this bear candle. That's called buy-side liquidity. Now it couldn't quite get above it. It sort of ranged around, but then a few months after that, you see it had a massive breakout above this level, all the way up to about $84 a share. Now, the area it broke through, and when it came back to, that's called a breakout pullback zone. So that was another reason that when it got down to around here, the trade looked appealing to me to go long, because I expect a rotation back up to this bear candle now, just like it did earlier with this one. I'm expecting a rotation to test this liquidity. It won't be a straight path, but it makes a lot of sense. So it hit this breakout pullback zone. That's what this green rectangle is. And another factor that looked good was I had happened to draw a trend line from here to here. And as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of trend lines, but it seems to be hanging around for now. So those are some factors that make me very confident that this is still a good long. And that's a quantum computer name. There's another name that I got into today, actually on a buy stop, and it's the same concept, Rigetti Computing. So Rigetti, look at this. This is interesting. Very interesting. Rigetti had similar, well, we'll get to that in a second. Rigetti had similar price action. It had a huge bear candle, which price ultimately retested. Oh, this is an idea. Look at this. I had called out this idea, gosh, at the beginning of last year, apparently. There's still my idea on it, and it worked out. It took a long time, but sure enough, price ended up getting to this buy-side liquidity. And then it punched up, it punched through, it broke out to the upside. So we had our breakout, right? Yeah, and then after that, we had a massive bearish reversal candle here. That's like they call it a shooting star, I think. I think that's called a shooting star right there. I don't know what they're called, and it doesn't really matter as long as you know what the candles imply. This candle implied a lot of selling. So, price rotated back down, and what did it do? It tested the 71% fib level. It tested this breakout pullback zone. Actually, the top of the wick nearly to the point. And while it didn't quite get to the EMA, it still had enough going for it, where I felt like today would be a good opportunity to go long. Might I wish that I had waited till it tests the EMA? Possibly. However, With this particular name, you see a double bottom that it formed, and I'll point that out to you momentarily. Let me get my drawing tool here. See that, and this is a weekly candle, remember. So there was one attempt. It looks like a butt. When markets do something twice and can't continue with the original thought, they tend to go the other way. That's why double bottoms and double tops are very, very reliable, especially on higher time frame charts. So in my opinion, this is a double bottom at the breakout pullback zone, just above the moving average. I think we've got a ride back up to about 43 a share. So yeah, I went long today at about 26. You know, I'm gonna swing it and see what happens. But yeah, so hopefully Santa Claus comes with the rally continuing tomorrow, and hopefully everybody will be blessed with good health, time with your family, focus on the important things in life. Easy to focus on the negatives, but if you could just focus on what you have to be grateful for, I think you'll find that it really helps you get through the day and through life. And this world, you know, this world is a beautiful place, but there's a lot of darkness in it. Let's hope some light shines on all of us as we continue to get through it. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and good health and peace. And I might do another video tomorrow. I might try trading tomorrow in the morning, although this week is sort of going to be slow. But until next time, great trading, everyone.